This is Take 7.
We're hitting rewind and pulling together the best small space tours to see how people around the world make the most of their homes. In this episode, we're meeting 5 families making small spaces work for them and their kids, each with their own unique challenges to solve.
Moving into a 600 square foot apartment as a family of 5 is going to pose some unique challenges, and one of those just being like, how do you fit it all?
Hi, I'm Khrystyne. I live here in this 1-bedroom apartment with my 2 kids and my husband. The biggest hurdle that we'd have to overcome is where is everyone gonna sleep?
It was all open and connected. Everything was on top of everything else. There was no sense of division between the kiddie zone and the adult zone.
We do have a 2-bedroom apartment that has been converted to 3 small rooms.
In the beginning, what was our office turned into the children's bedroom, 1 child's bedroom, and then 2 kids.
Room by room, we'll compare how they maximize storage, optimize layouts, and make every inch count so that you can take away smart ideas for your own space. Let's start with the living room. For Heather and Michael, with 3 kids and just 600 square feet, every inch needs to serve a purpose.
Hi, Apartment Therapy. I'm Heather.
And I'm Michael.
And this is Lennon, Georgie, and James.
This is our living room / everything room. It's the center of our apartment. It is where we spend so much of our time on the couch. The kitchen table is basically in the living room, so it also serves as kind of like a dining room.
If decorating a brand new space feels really overwhelming, start with one thing. For us, we started with this sofa, and so when we put it here, it helped the rest of the space kind of come to life. Like we knew, okay, this is how much space we have next to the sofa, and then what might fit there, and then that kind of led us to the right side table that would fit in a space, and then got us thinking about, well, what dining chairs would pair nicely with that. So if you kind of pull it in a little bit and start with just one piece, that'll kind of inspire you as you go. We've tried our best to go up, putting all of our books on these shelves and stackable storage crates for the girls' toys and things like that. I think that's really helped us to minimize clutter and has freed up some floor space for us as well.
Having a neutral foundation helps the space feel bigger, and it helps it feel brighter, which is necessary in a small space.
Now let's meet Jenny and her family. They also live in New York City in a slightly bigger 650 square foot apartment, but she lives in a 1-bedroom, and she made every inch work. Watch how she uses zones to turn a basic living room into so much more.
When I first got pregnant with my son, we kind of felt that urge that most new parents feel to move into a bigger space. We tried to make it work, and we felt really cramped and overwhelmed. And so one night in a craze, I was like, this isn't working. We either need to move tomorrow or we need to make a change. I just rearranged our furniture, literally flipping things and trying to contain the kids' space. And it made such a difference in our day-to-day lives. It really wasn't just about square footage, but how you use the space. Our alcove, the big movement zone, we have a basketball hoop, a net loft that you can get to by climbing the rock wall, or you can climb the monkey bars. It's really sturdy and strong. And this can actually support me too. I go up here a lot, especially at night. I can come up here and just read a book, and it's a nice little escape from the busy world below. And it has a shelf here where my son is now collecting some Pokemon creatures. He has some books. And then to get down, you can use the side panel, you can use the monkey bars up top, like this. Usually my son will just jump right down into the foam pit. My twin son can actually climb this and get up to the net loft himself. We don't have any overhead lighting in this room, so I built them into this shelf. We have string lights all over here, even the dollhouse has some lights in it. So this rug is a floor square rug. What's nice about it is if it's dirty and you have to clean it, you can take out a square and wash it or replace it. So this is our swing hook, and it's something that the kids use a lot, but me and my husband use as well. I have a yoga trapeze that I can hook onto there. And this mirror is pretty handy because it opens the room up, but it also allows me to see the kids from the kitchen. I can see every point.
Jenny has a knack for rethinking space, like turning her closet into a cozy office. And in her 1-bedroom apartment, that mindset came in handy again when her twins needed more room. She gave them the bedroom and found a creative way to make the foyer work for her.
And I'll show you how the Murphy bed works. It's pretty easy. But in terms of space and privacy is really all we need. I bought this Murphy bed from Facebook Marketplace, and to cover up the cosmetic wear and tear, I covered it with this beautiful Emma Hayes wallpaper.
Now we're hopping on the subway to Brooklyn to meet Khrystyne and her family. Like Jenny, she gave the bedroom to her kids, but instead of the foyer, she found a way to make the living room double as her own bedroom.
From the very beginning, I knew we were gonna have to do a Murphy bed. We decided to give the kids the bedroom and to move our space out here. When they go to bed, we needed a space where we could close the door and have it be quiet, and we could still go about our lives and work and clean and talk and hang out. When we were choosing this Murphy bed, it's from Breda Beds. I wanted one that apartment dwellers use versus someone who maybe has one in a guest room where it's more clunky and heavy and they don't really use it that often. Having reviews of people who use it daily was really important when I chose it. So as we realized that this room had to function in so many ways and is just kind of a big square, the way we were able to solve that was, okay, these are different quadrants that we have in the room, and this can be like our dining and our office space, and this is our bedroom space, this is our family workspace, and just creating those quadrants kind of helps the room flow and make sense. I recently got this, and it's amazing because I have all of our extra coats and blankets and winter clothes in it. So I love a good piece of furniture that's functional and can do different things without you realizing it's doing that.
Up next, we're meeting Margaret and her family of 4. Like Khrystyne, they have their dining area and the living room. But they've defined the space in their own way by mixing textures. They've created a home that feels both cozy and functional.
This is our living room. I think this living room is only like 16 by 10. We've had a couple different arrangements of furniture, and I think we found the sweet spot where the dining area is over here and we can fit comfortably. And we came to this technique of covering walls with fabric. If you use, in this case, cotton and linen blend, you can simply adhere the fabric to the wall with liquid starch, almost like you were wallpapering the wall. And it created a richness and a texture that adequately balanced the large, colorful paintings in the living room. This bench was an old shelf that Alex made that was on the wall, and he took it off the wall, he put legs on it. It's another place for our books, and I have a crate with all of our like root vegetables and squash.
Okay, now we're shifting to the kids' room. Fun, chaotic, and always changing. First up, Paris, where this family of 4 found smart ways to maximize every inch. Watch how they turn challenging architecture into clever design solutions.
Hi, Apartment Therapy. I'm Ajiri. Welcome to my 1,100 square foot home in Paris. I live here with my husband, Thomas, and my 2 children, Numi and Baz. Parisian apartments don't have a lot of closet space. That's a big challenge, but also we've grown as a family, so that's been hard because, in the beginning, what was our office turned into the children's bedroom, 1 child's bedroom, then the 2 kids. This used to be our office many years ago, and now it's the children's room. We had to change things up because they're getting bigger, so we decided to put bunk beds in here. But we didn't want to just put 1 bunk bed, so they wanted to maximize the floor space, so we did 2 high bunk beds. And then they have all the floor space underneath to play. And also what's funny about this bed is that Thomas took a bed and he cut it in half so that it would be narrower. He's so crazy. He took a bed, cut it in half, and put it back together so that it would fit better in the space. Thomas built all these shelves because the space was jutting out, so we made it these kind of like rounded little corners so that nobody would bump their heads. This was sort of like a weird little space here. This used to be a chimney, and that's why this comes out like this. So this was probably like a chimney and a door that probably led to another room, but we kind of turned it into a closet. So we put a rod, we added a shelf, and then Thomas made these drawers, and I went to the flea market and found these beautiful little antique knobs. This room is a mega Thomas DIY project, I have to say, because he did all these shelves, trying to add symmetry, but like space for the kids to put all of their stuff. Built these little shelves. I love it because it fits perfectly behind the door. Our German books, because we are half Swiss German family. We have our English books mixed in there, French books, activity books. Over here, it used to be just a bed for one of the children. Now we cut the bed in half and turned it into a bench. This is actually storage. So in the back is winter coats and ski stuff back there.
Let's check back in with Heather and Michael and see how they designed their kids' room, keeping floor space open and using modular furniture that adapts as their family grows.
This is the girls' room. It is by far our favorite room in the apartment, and we're so glad that they ended up in here. It has been the sweetest space for them to share and play, and it gets lots of natural light. It's the only room in the apartment that has 2 windows, so it's very bright. The ceilings are really high, and so it feels a lot bigger than it actually is. Their bunk beds are really great that we got from IKEA. They're super low to the ground, and so the bottom bunk almost feels like part of the floor. It doesn't feel like a big piece of furniture there, so play can kind of extend from the bottom bunk to the floor and makes it feel like it doesn't take up floor space because it kind of is part of the floor, if that makes sense. We also did a big area rug, a big jute area rug in their room so that the floor wouldn't feel broken up. So that it could feel big, almost like it's carpeted, so that it could feel big and comfortable for play. And we hung a lot of things on the walls in their room and did a really tall bookshelf for all of their books. We tried to go up as much as possible, wanting them to have as much open space to play. We also utilized their closet. Thankfully, because they're so small, their clothes don't hang down very far, and so we have a lot of space underneath. We got James's crib from UF, and it's a brand that we love. The crib is beautiful. It's also really functional. It converts really easily to a toddler bed, and so as James grows and the girls continue to grow, it allows for their room to grow with them, and we don't have to redesign or get a new piece of furniture or anything.
Back at Jenny's place, we're taking a look at her kids' room. She found a way to expand their bunk bed to fit 3, and she designed the space with zones for both sleep and play.
So this is the kids' bedroom. It used to be our room, but now it's only for the kids. This is their sleeping area that I tried to designate with the wallpaper. I got a bunk bed that was a twin on top of a full. I moved the divider in the middle so that I could put 2 Montessori floor beds for my twins. Here's a magnet board that they play with. These are fun. I'll switch up what's here, and their art area. And I intentionally didn't extend the wallpaper to the end so that the art area can be clean and white and really decorated with their pictures or the colors of the art supplies. I have a storage system for the toys in the bedroom, in the closet, and I store the toys in the same way that I put them out by category. Here's an example. This bin would be our small world vehicles, and I'll rotate out like this Ziploc bag has the train tracks. Here we have metal cars. I have wood cars out now, so I could switch them out for that. All the different types. So the bathroom, you can get in through the bedroom. And then you can also get to the bathroom through the Murphy door that's in our living room. So when the kids are sleeping, we don't have to walk through the bedroom to get to the bathroom. We can just come in through the living room, which has been really nice. See? Secret Murphy door. I got this from a company called Murphy Door. I think it's ingenious because it looks like shelves. You'd never tell, but it's a door when we need one at night to get to the bathroom.
Back at Khrystyne's place, we're diving into their kids' room, where the design keeps evolving to match their needs. With an emphasis on open floor space, layered textures, and creative storage, it's a space that grows with them.
It's crazy when I look back at pictures because this room has looked totally different. And I just love that. And I love that about small spaces is that what you have now could be perfect, but then it's gonna morph and my kids are gonna grow and it's gonna have to completely change to suit them and to meet what they need. And for us in this season, a big thing that we wanted and my husband really advocated was a lot of floor space because he comes home and their time they spend together is playing. They build and make train tracks and Legos, like that's like their time. So I just had this crazy idea to like layer rugs on top of each other that we already had. And I like honestly love it. My family is Afghan, and so it kind of reminds me like Arabian Nights, it's just that vibe of like carpets flying and imagining and creating. And so I think it just kind of has this boho energy. I am a teacher, my husband's in education, and we love books. And so that was the two things, was we have to prioritize floor space and we have to prioritize books and shelves for books. So I found this bed from IKEA. It had the best price point and it met like all of the different things that I was looking for. It ended up being a great space saver because I just got these, again, IKEA. And so we gained a lot of storage space in our closets when we moved to this bunk bed because we were able to put stuff underneath. I think sometimes with open storage, it can just feel very cluttered and very full very fast. And so a rule that I've kind of just created for myself that really helps is like a watermark. So if things are above it, it needs to kind of go below. And it makes it go from feeling like full and overly too much to like you can't even notice it or see it. And so it helps with just the visual clutter, but it also just helps with like mental parameters of, okay, all of their stuff is coming out. That means we need to get rid of something. Like there's too much. It kind of just creates a good barrier around the possession that is going in it and makes it easier for you to make those discernment calls of we have too much of this. We need to kind of decide what needs to move on. I'm an early elementary education teacher, so I knew very early on I wanted toys that were more open-ended and they were locked into one type of play when they used it.
Margaret and Alex skip bunk beds for now, but a sliding door swap and a custom closet keeps their space efficient.
This color is the segue into the girls' room. We do have a 2-bedroom apartment that has been converted to 3 small rooms. One of the first pieces that we bought was the stock crib. It can convert to a toddler bed, and these arms, these side panels come off. They can, use the crib as a toddler bed. Alex made this very simple but elegant platform bed for Simone when Florence was born. Eventually, we will add bunk beds to this room when both of the girls are ready. And I'm looking forward to that because it'll create even more floor space for them to play.
All of the bedrooms, all of the closets originally had out-swinging doors. And of course, the bedroom's so small, an out-swinging door here takes up like a quarter of the space or more. And so we put in these sliding doors. If we go into the closet here, we've got a full system that Rylix Custom Cabinetry helped us make. They're in Orange County, New York. It's my parents' company. They do custom cabinetry, and so kind of figured a good system for, we've got 2 girls, so they each have their little sections. They've got their shelves. Down below we have a shoe rack for them where they can put their shoes in, and then also all of their craft supplies are at the very bottom.
We actually recently installed these lovely shades by Tulip, and they specifically make shades that fit over the landlord special boob lights that you see in a lot of rentals, especially in New York City. So what's great about these shades is you install the base with command strips, so you don't have to drill or put any holes in the ceiling. The cotton and linen shade itself pops onto the base with magnets, so you can swap out the shades from room to room.
Now let's head to the kitchen, the place where families cook, gather, and somehow always run out of counter space. Let's see how these homes make it work.
This is our kitchen, the home to our easy bake oven, as we so lovingly call it, our teeny tiny appliances. We love to cook. Michael and I love to cook together on Fridays. Usually we cook together all the time, but Friday nights are like our at-home date night where we put the girls down and have dinner after they go to bed. And we love to cook together and love to cook as a family. The girls and I bake a lot. And so we spend a lot of time using our kitchen. So we knew that we needed to, again, just maximize the space as much as we could. And we have very little counter space. And so it's like a big cutting board that sits on top of our stovetop. And so that almost doubles our counter space. There's a hanging basket that we have that's been really helpful in storing a lot of our produce. Another thing that's been really helpful is our spice rack from Evermill that hangs on the wall above our stovetop. And so that's been helpful for keeping counter space clear.
So we have a lot of vertical space, a lot of bins. I have canned food here, cups, coffee supplies. I have all of our utensils hanging under here, because I had them in a drawer here before, but they would just get pulled out and it was kind of dangerous. I store knives on this board here. I even have measuring cups along the wall back here. I use every inch of space that I can get. Spice rack, pots, pans up there. I have like light bulbs, extension cords. Messy play supplies are all up there and here, like sand, chalk. We make oobleck a lot, which is cornstarch and water. So anything that's like kitchen messy play, I have at the top. I also store paper towels up there using a bungee cord. They used to be along this wall and it was not just unsightly, but took up a ton of valuable space, and they're light enough that it's fine up there. Usually if I'm in the kitchen, my twins are in the kitchen. So they'll mimic what I do or they'll just play around. So it's nice to have something where they're occupied so they're not climbing my leg when I'm trying to cook at the oven or the stovetop. So the water gets pumped and then recycled back into this bin that's under here. So it just goes round and round. It'll never run out of water, but I replace it every night because it might get funky.
So when we walked into this apartment and I saw this kitchen, it was like my dream kitchen, which is so funny because it's like you see people's dream kitchens and it's like this is not what a dream kitchen usually looks like, but we were coming from a super narrow galley kitchen and I just couldn't get over how wide the space was and then how wide and long the counter was. And the funny thing is that half of the cabinets are like kitchen things and half are not, and I think that's probably really normal. And so I realized I can make one of these cabinets into like an art cabinet for them. And a lot of times when I'm cooking, they'll come and get art stuff out and lay on the ground next to me and create and color. So the kids can do homework here. Sometimes they'll draw and do arts and crafts. We also really wanted it to be a place where we're maximizing the wall. And so we have the mugs hanging up so that that's functional, but also it's fun to have the mugs out and displayed.
This is our tiny, mighty kitchen. I kind of enjoy cooking, but I also just cook out of necessity. So this kitchen has to be very functional. We replaced all of the original appliances with narrow apartment-sized appliance. You know, getting things on the walls as much as possible, off the counters, on the walls, is kind of the name of the game. Anything that I use regularly, I want either decantered on the countertop or on a wall where I can reach it quickly. I can hide some things in wine crates. I love a kitchen radio. It just makes for a great atmosphere to have little jazz on, little WNYC on in the mornings.
We've met families who've turned small spaces into homes filled with love, creativity, and a little bit of chaos. Different homes, different choices, all built around what matters most, proving that when we rewind, we find fresh ideas.